What's up, kindergarten and first grade and second grade? How are all my virtual learners? Hope you're doing well. This week in physical education class, the first day of class, we basically just reviewed all of our spatial relations and movement concepts. The kids, had to show me that you understood how to move your body in different ways, that you knew the difference between wide and narrow, and tall and small, or twisted and bent, all the different things that we did in class last week. And the different levels. Could you move your body in the high level, the medium level, the low level? Could you explain the difference between a curvy line and a zigzag line? And another thing we talked about too that I don't remember if we went over in the last video was the idea of moving on the diagonal. Now, if I was going to move on the diagonal, we're talking about halfway between a 1/4 turn. Now, if we think about a room would have 4 walls. Okay, 4 walls and a ceiling and a floor. But if I'm looking at this wall back here where the camera is, there's that wall, there's this wall over here, there's the wall behind me, and there's the wall to my left. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 walls. And it means that if I wanted to turn all the way around, I could turn 4 times looking at a different wall each time. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're taking that room and we're turning it into 4 different parts, each part being a wall. And if I'm going to move on the diagonal, and I'm saying halfway between a 1/4 turn. So one part of the 4 is a quarter. Just like you think about a dollar can be broken up into 4 quarters. So I've got my wall that I'm facing, I've got this one right here as my number 1 wall. So halfway between here and my number 1 wall would be this way. So moving to the corner of the room over here. If I'm facing this way, my diagonal would be this way and this way toward the corners of the room. All right, so if I ever asked you to move on a diagonal, it's basically whichever way you're facing, think about what would it take to turn toward another wall or a 1/4 turn and cut it in half. So if we're going to speak technically, it's a 90-degree turn to get from here to here, because a whole circle has 360 degrees. And if we're going to break that into 4s, each one would be 90 plus 90 plus 90 plus 90 is 360. So halfway between 0 and 90 is, come on second graders, 45. 45 plus 45. So a 45-degree angle from whichever direction you're facing. That is moving on a diagonal. So that was the big part of day number 1. And then day number 2, we kind of switched gears a little bit, got back into moving, kind of like a locomotor movement, but these are discrete skills where I'm just going to do it once and then it's done. I can do it over and over and over, but it's not something I would usually use to move from one place to another. So the first one we talked about is something called hopping. And hopping is moving through the air from one foot to the same foot. So if I'm going to do hopping, it would look like this. Shoulder over knees over toes, because I'm doing something athletic. This is our athletic ready position. 1, I'm going to pick whichever leg, it doesn't matter. I'm going to lift my knee in the air. So it goes knee up. The other foot that's on the ground, that leg, I'm going to bend that knee bend. I'm just going to hop straight up in the air. I don't want to move forward, backward, side to side, so I just want to land right where I started. So I'm going to swing my arms up. And then I'm going to push off the ground and land on the same foot I started with. So put it all together. I've got shoulder over knees over toes. That's my ready position. 1, knee up. 2, knee bends. 3, swing my arms up, push off the floor, land on the same foot. So that would be a hop. You can do that on the other side. Knee up, knee bends, arm swing up, and land. That is my single hop. So I want you to practice that for a little while. You can pause the video here and just practice like 5 times with your left foot and then 5 times with your right foot. Go ahead and hit pause. All right, great job. Now we're going to talk about moving through space while hopping. All right, So instead of moving up and down and landing in the same spot, now I'm going to move forward 3 hops. And in order to do that, I'm going to do shoulder over knees over toes, knee up, knee bends. Now instead of swinging my arms forward, I'm going to swing my arms out. And that's going to cause my body weight to come forward, and watch what happens. If I just stand like this and shoulder over knees over toes and I swing my arms out, it gets my body weight going in that direction, and my body wants to follow because my weight's going that way, so I'm going to start moving in that direction. So knee up, knee bend, arm swing forward, push off the ground, and land. I'm going to do that 3 times in a row. Shoulder over knees over toes, knee up, knee bend. 1, 2, 3. I'll do it back. I'll do it on the other foot. Knee up, knee bend. 1, 2, 3. All right. Push pause. I want you to practice that. Practice going 3 hops forward, 3 hops backward. Go ahead. All right. Awesome. Great job. Now, the last part of our hopping is I want you to continuously move, and we're going to do 5 hops on one foot, and then we're going to switch and do 5 hops on the other foot. All right, I don't have a lot of space here, so this is something you could practice outside or in a driveway or down a hall or something like that, somewhere where you have a lot of space. So I'm just going to do small ones, but I'm going to do small hops, 5 forward with my left foot hopping, then 5 with my right foot hopping. All right, so it would look like this. Knee up, knee bend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So go ahead and practice that. Awesome. Now, the next skill that we learned was something called jumping. And just like hopping, it's something I can do in my own personal space, moving up in the air and landing right where I started. And it's also something I can do moving forward. The first one, just jumping. I say, pretend you're standing at the bottom of a hill and somebody rolled a log down the hill, and you just want to jump over it when it's coming at you. I don't know why. There's a log rolling down the hill. You wouldn't just move out of the way, but in this case, you just want to jump over it. So first of all, look up in the air. Make sure you're not going to hit your head on anything. And here's your 1, 2, 3, 4 for jumping. Shoulder over knees over toes. Doing something athletic again. 1, both knees bend. 2, arms back. 3, push up. And 4, swing my arms, land on the same feet. Both feet. Jumping is moving through the air from 2 feet to 2 feet. All right, that's our skill of jumping. So again, shoulder over knees over toes, both knees bend, arms back, push off the ground. I'm going to swing my arms up because I don't want to move forward or backwards, and I'm going to land on 2 feet. All right, that is jumping. Practice that. Go ahead, hit pause. Good job. Let's try jumping forward. All right. Now we're going to pretend we play a game in class, and 2nd graders, 1st graders, you might remember this, a game called Stinky River. All right. Now, Stinky River, we have some lines on the floor, and what you can do is basically just get yourself a pillow or something and put a pillow on the floor in front of you. Okay. Now we're going to stand on one side of the pillow, and we're going to pretend that this pillow is Stinky River. Okay. I want to jump over Stinky River. I don't want to get my feet in it, or else my feet are going to stink for a week straight. The things that are in this river are so gross and so disgusting, we don't even want to talk about it on camera. So there is Stinky River right there. You can put a couple pillows next to each other, and however you want to do it. So I'm going to put my feet right up next to the edge of the bank, and this is my pretend river. I'm going to do both knees bend. I'm going to do arms back. I'm going to push with both feet, or both of my legs, these muscles right here called my quadricep muscles, my abdominal muscles, my back muscles. All these muscles are going to ignite, and they're going to push me forward. Now this time I'm going to swing my arms forward. And when I swing my arms forward, it's going to move my body forward just like it did hopping. And I'm going to keep my eye on the spot I want to land. So a couple things different here when we're doing jumping. Shoulder over knees over toes. Both knees bend. arms back. This is where I'm looking at the spot I want to land, just past Stinky River right here. I'm going to push with my legs, swing my arms, and try and land at that spot where I'm staring. Ready? And jump. Whew, I made it. All right, let's see if I can go back. Shoulder over knees over toes. Knees bent, arms back. Ready? And jump. All right, awesome. Now the next thing I can do is I could take another pillow and make it a little bit wider. So, Stinky River just doubled in size. And this is something you could practice. Maybe you jump from one end of a rug to the other, or you just line up a couple pillows. Just make sure it's something that when you land on it, if you don't make it across, you're not gonna hurt yourself or twist an ankle or something like that. So jumping on a pillow, something like that, shouldn't be a problem. So I'm gonna go again. Ooh, got it wider. Shoulder over knees over toes, knees bend, arms back. My eyes now are looking at a spot on the other side of the second pillow. I'm gonna push with both legs, swing my arms, and see if I can make it all the way across. I made it, okay? So your challenge today and this week, is go ahead, practice hopping, all right? I'd like you to definitely see if you can do 10 on one foot, 10 on the other, and then try and string them together. So you're gonna do 10, and then you keep moving, and you switch to the other foot and do another 10. That would be a really cool thing to practice the hopping. And also with the jumping, just kind of see how high you can get up, all right? Really push yourself up off the ground. Maybe if you could, have somebody hold something up above you and you can jump up and see if you can whack it or touch it or something like that. And then also practice, the Stinky River stuff, all right? Put some things on the ground that you can jump over, like pillows or a rug or something like that, or towel, maybe a big wide towel or something like that. Something that's going to not hurt you if you step on it, all right? So that was our lesson this week. We were talking about hopping and jumping and practicing those things, doing some different stuff with that, all right? Keep up the good work, and I will talk to you next Sunday. All right, take care, bye.